Hi, this is Gail. Welcome to Overcoming the Obstacles. Today we're going to be joined by Marti, and she is with Down the Rabbit Hole. I think you're going to really like her. Now, Marti takes care of a lot of subjects on her channel. I mean, she's covered parenting, she's covered travel, she's talked about bucket lists, she's lived some of her bucket lists. So we're going to enjoy her while she's here. Should be just a few minutes. So in the meantime, let me tell you just a little bit about overcoming the obstacles and why you should support this channel. Now, when I'm talking support, you can relax. I do have Patreon, but I'm really talking about doing things like tweeting your friends, sharing it on all of your social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook. Help us get the word out. This channel is about supporting people who have gone through obstacles and overcome them. I think the biggest goal is for the channel to be inspiring and to help other people with things that they're coming through. So that's what we want for overcoming the obstacles. In order to do that, we need your help. So help by telling others and help by being a part. Your views, your watches, all of that goes into making Overcoming the Obstacles the amazing channel that it is. So I thank you for that. Now we're going to be joined by Marti momentarily. Let me see. I want to share her channel with you just so you can see it. Okay, let me pull that up. Okay, just a second here. I also want to give a big shout out to my helpers. Cassandra is a dear friend of mine who's trying to help me put this all together. And I've got a new friend, well, not a new friend, but I have someone else who's starting anew who's going to be helping me also. And her name is Katerina. So we welcome her as well. So I'm pulling up her channel right now. And let's see what happens here. Okay. Nothing happens with a screenshot. Isn't that always the way it works? The more you want something to happen, the less likely it is sometimes to actually occur. I'm going to try this again. That's the joys of doing it live, folks. Let's see. Okay, pulling it up now. Okay, Marti is in the chat room. Feel free to go ahead and click that link and come on in at any time. I'm actually pulling up your channel right now so that people can see it, or trying to anyway. There we go. Here we are. Okay, so Marti, I'm pulling up your channel. And you should be in just a second. And here we go. All right, everybody, you're going to like Marti's channel. I'm pulling it up now just so you can see some of the amazing things that she does, especially, when it comes to travel, because she talks a lot about the bucket list. And you can see here on her website some of the fabulous places that she has been. Look at that, folks. And she's done creator collaborations and all kinds of really cool things. Okay. Because getting out there and trying and living your life as best you can, really, that's what it's all about. Okay. And that's what we want to do. So let's see. Pull it up. Okay. Awesome that you're tweeting it. Okay. So Marty is tweeting the stream. And I think I just heard her. Hi, Marty.
Hello.
Welcome. I'm so sorry about some of the confusion and so forth, but I'm really glad to have you. Thank you so much.
Oh, thanks for asking me. This is fun.
Yeah, I'm excited. So I was telling everybody, I just shared your channel, gave you the screenshot there. And I was telling everybody that you've done a lot of travel related videos, but you're also a parent and how that all fits in. And it can be a little challenge, I know, to travel with kids.
Yeah, there's not a great deal of international traveling happening right now, but lots of little day trips and road trips and things like that with the kids.
Well, anytime you have kids and you have activities like that, that can be really challenging.
Yeah, it's getting easier now that they're 3 and 4 and they can hop in the car seat and we don't have to take a diaper bag loaded with bottles and wipes and all that kind of stuff. So it's getting easier.
Well, good. So why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and about your channel? Okay, and I know you have a blog too.
Yeah, I originally started off as a travel writer. I have a blog called Downthewrabbithole. I've been writing it since 2010. I didn't really do much traveling when I was younger. Like when I was little, I went traveling with my parents on road trips and stuff, but we never went in planes and flew anywhere. And then I had like a big break where I didn't travel when I was going to university and college. And then my first year of teaching, I actually got to go to a conference in New Orleans. And
oh, wow.
Yeah, for a first
year. New Orleans is an amazing place to go.
It's probably my favorite US city right now. And after that trip, I kind of started to do a little more traveling and decided to start writing about it. Actually kind of ties in with the overcoming obstacles. I was trying to think about what I could talk about. And I didn't actually start writing my travel blog until I actually had a cancer incident.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 2010 was when I was diagnosed with thyroid cancer. So I decided I was going to start writing about my travels and try and stay positive and use my travel blog as a way to focus more on the good things in life and keep myself motivated that way. And then I was cancer-free about a year and a half later.
Good.
And decided to just keep going with my blog. And then over time, it's kind of progressed into the YouTube channel. And now I'm obsessed with my YouTube channel.
Yay, YouTube. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Your story actually doesn't sound too dissimilar to some of the other stories that I've heard about travel writers, how they had a terrible experience and then it kind of woke them up to their passion for travel and getting out there. So, yeah. So what made you, how did you think about it before you started your blog? Did you put in lots of research and read books, or did you just decide one day, this is it?
Well, I'd done like quite a bit of traveling before 2010. 2007 was when I took that trip to New Orleans. And then I did a few trips, like I did a trip to Las Vegas with my husband and Costa Rica. We got married in Costa Rica in 2009. And then I actually took a group of 19, I think it was, 19 junior high students and their parents to London, Italy, and Paris. That was a lot of fun.
That took guts. I mean, that took guts.
I could write a book on that.
I bet you could.
So I kind of had all that under my belt before I started writing my blog. So I knew what I wanted to write about. I had a lot of stuff to add to the site. And then, yeah, I had to learn about HTML and setting up my blog structure and that kind of thing. But
yeah, because I think there's a lot of people out there who want to start a blog, but they get so tied up in how to do it that they kind of freeze. You know,
yeah.
I've got a couple of blogs, and I remember years ago, somebody wrote me asking me what books I suggested for her to read before she started her blog so she could get ready to blog. What do you say to that?
Yeah, I helped a friend set up a blog. She wanted to do a mom blog, and she asked me, she's like, are there YouTube tutorials? What should I do? And I just said, go pick a platform. Do you want to use Weebly? Do you want to use Blogger? Do you want to use what's the really popular one right now?
Well, there is Blogger. There's WordPress.
Thank you.
Weebly. Yeah.
I use Blogger because I started forever ago and WordPress didn't exist back then. But
and Blogger's got the advantage, you go to blogger.com and in 5 minutes, boom, you've got a website.
Yeah, I mean, WordPress is kind of that simple, but you do need to know a little bit. It's a little more in depth. So anyways, you just pick a free template and you go and you can learn on your way. Like my blog now is very, very customized because I know HTML. I set the backgrounds. I have the color scheme. I have different fonts than the original. Like I have it all very customized, but at first it was super simple. I just started typing a blog and that was it.
And I think that's the key. You set it up on the platform and you just start typing.
And then you learn as
kind of compose your thoughts as you go. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to add a banner across the top. I don't want to have just the normal. And so that's a week. That's a week of your life. You learn how to do a banner. You create one, you implement it. You don't get it all set up perfectly at the start. You just can't. It'll take you forever and you'll be so overwhelmed and you will quit.
Very true. And I think it's like YouTube. Also, you have to take time to find your voice. And that's very important.
Yeah, my YouTube channel, I started 5 years ago. And it wasn't until last Christmas when I decided I was going to take better care of it. So every week I just learned something new, how to make a new thumbnail, how to create my banner, doing my About Me section. I just did it really slowly over time. And now I'm happy with it.
But I also think that's a clue, that you start out and you don't just dive right in trying to eat the entire elephant. You start out step 1 and 2 and 3. And for me, that became apparent just in, starting up the blog and getting the notice, you need to say hello. And just, one step at a time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't have a channel intro until like last March. So
yeah.
I think
I'm still working on my channel intro. I think it's this one, Overcome the Obstacles. I think we did a great job on the channel intro. But my other channel, I've had 2 and 3, and I don't have one up now. I've got to keep fine tuning it.
And you don't have to keep the one you have too. If you decide you've outgrown it, you can change it. Yeah, I think a lot of people get caught up on the aesthetics of things, right? They want it to look perfect first, but you need to have the content first. You start with your videos. You start with writing 10 blog posts, and then you work on the aesthetics. I think, and everyone wants it to look perfect right away, and I don't think that's the right way to go.
I agree, because I think, like with the person who asked me about what books would I recommend, number one is I'm not going to recommend a book right at first, because chances are whatever information is out there in the book you can get off of YouTube or from other blogs just by typing in how to start a blog. But I think people sometimes freeze, and that becomes a fear, and that becomes their obstacle for them to overcome with writing a blog and putting themselves out there like that.
And that's a big question to ask, how to start a blog, right? You're going to get just inundated with information. So it's better to do, how do I submit my first post? How do I change the font of my blog? Like go with small questions. That's what I would recommend.
Yeah, I do too. And I think approaching the YouTube channel with a similar mindset also is helpful.
Yeah. How do I post my first video? How do I create an intro? What are the steps to creating a storyline within a YouTube video? It's just small things.
Yeah, but there again, I think there's a lot to be said for watching a few videos and then just get out there and try it. Because look, you guys who are going to be listening and watching, you don't have to have the perfect video starting out. Nobody does. If you go back and you look at some of the big name YouTubers and you look at some of their early stuff, you will be shocked.
Peter McKinnon's first videos are hilarious. It's like him riding around a skateboard. He's vlogging like every other person. He's just vlogging like I would vlog. His first like 5 or 6 videos are nothing like what he does now. Nothing.
That's great. I'm not familiar with his channel. I'll have to look him up.
I'm obsessed with him. I love him.
Oh, okay. Definitely high praise there.
Yeah. My first video is of a water fountain in Seattle. It's horrible. It's just me standing there and the camera's shaking because I'm laughing and there's no intro. I don't introduce it. There's no talking. It's just this fountain and then it stops. Okay.
And there's a lot to be said for that too, you know, because again, you're lowering your anxiety. Sometimes you just have to bite the bullet.
Yeah. And I'm not going to go back and delete them either because I like watching my growth and how I've learned.
Yeah. That's something else I think we need to kind of mention here is that you don't have to leave your video up forever. You can take it down. You can put it on unlisted or private. So you do have those controls. So if you put a video up and 10 years from now you decide you don't like it, you can still keep it by making it private without actually deleting it.
Mm-hmm. And you can redo them. There's a couple where I really liked the footage, but I hated how I edited it. And so I pulled it, well, I made it private, but I pulled it, I reworked it, and then I re-uploaded it. So you can do that too. You don't have to be stuck with one of the videos that you made and you're like, I hate that video. You can always rework it.
Yeah, you can. And that's really important to know. It's one of those things that I don't think YouTube really makes people aware of is the different options.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, I think they kind of rely on you just figuring it out on your own.
Yeah, sometimes I think they do. And sometimes we're not good at that, especially in the beginning. You know, we were talking about your blog a minute ago. Let me pull it up too so people can see it. And
I've been working on it a whole bunch lately, so.
Okay. That's okay. This way, when people go to look for your blog, hopefully they will. Hopefully we'll get lots and lots of traffic to this channel at some point, and they will go look for your blog. They'll know kind of what they're looking at. Okay, here we go. All right. I think here we go.
Yep, that's it.
Okay. Is it showing on the window there?
Not for me. It was for a second. There we go.
There we are. There's your blog. And you want to say anything about it while I scroll through it? Or just scroll down?
For the technical part of it, it's just a free blogger template. But I've reworked it all so that it's, you know, my taste and my color scheme. I tried to make it really easy to navigate. So at the top, there is the home that tells like my background story about, you know, when I started traveling, why I started making a bucket list. Then you can find the blog posts chronologically, but I've also done posts by country. So if you click on that link, it'll take you to a whole bunch of little squares with the countries that I visited. So you can really find a post quickly. And then there's my bucket list, which I think I have like 163 items on right now. I may never finish it. I don't have any.
Yeah, you're not ever going to finish it. That's part of the fun of having. Oh, I see you want to go on a zip line.
Well, the blue ones are ones that I've done. So they link to an actual post. And then the black ones that don't have a hyperlink are the ones that I have yet to do.
In your wedding dress.
Yes, I shredded it.
Wow.
Yeah, okay. My daughter will not be wearing my wedding dress.
And that's okay.
That's fine.
She'll have her own that she'll want to shred.
Yeah, I knew I was going to be on the beach in the sand, so I didn't buy an expensive one anyways.
Well, it's never a good idea to spend a lot of money on a dress.
No.
You know, you can spend thousands.
I'm not a wedding person. I'm not a wedding person at all. So our wedding was super cheap because I didn't want anything really.
Well, we made sure our daughters were super cheap. But, you know, you can go out and you can spend thousands and thousands and thousands on a wedding dress, and we're at 2 hours.
It's crazy. People spend the same amount of on a wedding as they would on a house down payment. Like buy the house, because then you could have a marriage. Right?
Yeah.
The wedding.
Yeah. You'll always have the house. So why not do that? But yeah.
The marriage is more important than the wedding.
True. Now, did I hear you or read something about you having a destination wedding or?
Yeah. So we were in Costa Rica to get married. So that's where we zip-lined, and my husband's father has a house down there, which I think he's currently selling, sadly, but we went down there. So we had free accommodation. So it made it even cheaper.
That's a help. I was going to ask how you decided to have a destination wedding. Was it, obviously it came out of your desire for travel?
Yeah, it actually came, it was a big kerfuffle. So we wanted to elope originally, and both my mom and Joey's mom were like, no, we want a wedding. And so they were like, you wanted to go to Costa Rica, we'll bring Costa Rica to you. And they started like planning all this stuff and spending all this money. Like they were going to order these Costa Rican orchids, and it was getting a little out of control. And so we stopped and we said, either we are going away to get married or we're not getting married at all, because we'd already been together for 7 years. We didn't really care. And so we kind of had our mothers back down, and we went to Costa Rica. We didn't take any of our family with us. Joey's dad was there.
No family.
Only because he was already there before.
All of this planning that they were trying to do with flowers and so forth, they didn't go to Costa Rica with you?
No. I think they were a little bit mad at us, but they have other kids. Those kids will get married. My sister's getting married.
Yeah. I can't imagine if my daughter was going to try to go get married someplace without me. I don't know. I might try to pack myself in her suitcase or something.
Well, I mean, if they hadn't pestered us so much at the beginning, we might have done a destination wedding where everybody came with us. But I think by the end of it, we were just so sick of talking about weddings that we just wanted to go get it done and be done with it.
Yeah. And who can't understand that? Weddings are very hectic, very stressful, but a once-in-a-lifetime event. And I think no matter if you get married on a beach or at the courthouse, you're never going to forget that moment.
Yeah. I worked for a summer at a museum that had this like beautiful open space overlooking a coulee. And we had a wedding coordinator that worked at the facility, but she didn't work weekends, which were when all the weddings were.
Oh no!
So I was weekend staff. So this lady would set up all the stuff with the bride and groom and stuff, but then we had to roll it out, I guess. We had to be.
Yeah, you had to pick up for the coordinator.
We had to deal with the brides and the mothers of the bride and the drunk grooms and the drunk groomsmen, and they would be trying to steal rolly chairs out the door. And it was a museum, so they were trying to break into the museum part and steal things. And it was awful, and it just totally ruined weddings for me forever.
That would be understandable. Yeah, awful. So you're mentioning your time in a museum. Is this one of the focuses that you like to do when you travel?
Strangely not. I love museums. I've worked in a couple. I wanted to be a exhibit coordinator for a little while when I was younger. But when we go, I love nature. I love getting out and doing hikes and exploring trails and seeing all like the big natural highlights. That's my thing that I really love to do.
Yeah. That's awesome. I'm a big nature buff, and you're in an area that's surrounded by really beautiful, beautiful places.
I love Alberta.
Yeah. It's hard not to. I got to drive across it a couple of times, going back and forth to Alaska, and I'll be doing it again this coming summer. It's just gorgeous. What would you say one of your favorite places would be in Alberta? I'm sure you have a million of them like I do where I live, but what would you say your like top 3 would be?
Top 3? Well, it's going to be so typical, but Banff. I love Banff.
Oh, yes.
Only in the shoulder season, because I don't like Banff in the middle of tourist season because there's so many people. Like you can't go to Lake Louise and get a beautiful shot of the lake because there's 700 people standing on the edge. But if you would go now, like at the end of September, beginning of October, you could be the only one standing. So I love Banff on shoulder season. I like Drumheller, if you've heard of that.
No, I haven't.
You could Google it.
Definitely say more about that because it's new to me.
So Drumheller has the Royal Tyrrell Dinosaur Museum. It's like super huge for fossils and fossil hunting and dinosaurs, and then it has these beautiful rolling badlands that are very layered, so you can kind of see the history of the natural area. It's semi-arid desert, so there's cactus and not very many trees, and it's super hot in the summer, but it's just a really neat ecosystem right in the middle of Alberta.
You know, that's interesting too, because I think a lot of people don't think about parts of Canada, even Alaska, being desert. You know, we think about the Southwest U.S., but not so much going north. From here, you expect that going north will be cooler, you know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, in the winter it is, but
right.
Because the area on Lethbridge is also semi-arid desert too. So all the trees that are in Lethbridge have all been planted by humans. They haven't grown natural trees in forever. And I think,
you know, I had forgotten that. I had completely forgotten that. Lethbridge is a pretty place, though.
I'm hoping to go down maybe next summer and do some videos on the big train trestle down there and the coulees. We lived down there for 8 years.
That. Yeah, that train trestle is so impressive because not only is it super long, but the construction and the aesthetics, it's just a lovely place.
It's incredible to stand underneath.
Yeah, we didn't try to stand. Well, we did try to stand underneath, but we couldn't get down there. It was just, it got really narrow, or we could have been in the wrong spot to get down there. I will say that. Yeah, but when we came off and we're at the edge, it became a narrow gravel road, and we had a wide passenger van. So I don't know if we hit the wrong thing or not, but I was like,
because they have Fort Whoop-Up down there, which is a tourist site, and they have the nature center, the Helen Schuler Nature Center down there. So there's a paved road that goes down, big parking lots.
Okay.
It must have been coming from the other end.
We didn't see any kind of visitor center or anything like that. We saw grass and the road going down, because I was like, there has to be a way to get underneath it. But the road got narrow. And then I was like, if we meet highway.
I think I know which way you were coming off of.
Okay. Yeah, we were definitely on. I can't remember now if we were coming from the north or from the south. I would have to go back and look at my notes and check on that. Now, you know, here I am talking about notes. Do you keep notes on your adventures? Do you keep a journal?
I don't do a journal because I have my blog, so that's where I put everything into words. But I do carry slips of paper. I wonder if I put it in the bathroom. Never mind. I cleaned off my desk before we did this. But I have a travel binder with notes, and I keep the little plastic page protectors because I'm a nerd.
Yeah.
Keep it in my binder, and then I just shove my pamphlets that I pick up from locations or notes that I take, shove them into a page protector, and then when I come home, I've got all the information I need to do a nice full blog post or video. But yeah, I don't do a journal because my blog is my journal.
And that's your notes for your next adventure there too.
Yeah, I have probably 7 or 8 full itineraries with driving distances and driving times and possible hotels to stay at. I have them all planned out for, I don't know, if my husband ever comes home and says, hey, I bought tickets to New Zealand. I'm like, yes, I have an itinerary ready to go.
Okay. Do you use Groupons for any of the trips? I was looking the other day at Groupon, and they had some pretty fun sounding offerings.
I forget about it a lot. I have used it before. We did a helicopter ride over the Rocky Mountains with a Groupon once, but I forget about it. I should put it like a sticky on my wall so I can remember it.
That would be fun. That would be, the whole idea of a helicopter ride would be fun. I tell you, my first experience at Banff, I was shocked that it was cold. We were on Icefields Highway, and wow, the woman taking the funds at the gate had on this hat and earmuffs and gloves, and we were expecting it to be warm because it was 4th of July weekend, and we about froze.
It gets crisp up there.
It is. So, traveling in Canada, what kind of suggestions would you make for people who might be coming from the U.S. and not familiar with Canadian laws and customs?
Oh, I don't know. We're pretty easygoing.
Okay. Yeah. I noticed the speed limit was lower. That was one. How strict are they on speed limits? Like here, if you go 5-10 miles over, especially if you're on the interstate, it's not so bad.
Yeah, it's about 10 kilometers over. So if the speed limit says 100 and you catch yourself at 110, you'd probably be okay if you passed a police officer. But it depends on the police officer too. I've been pulled over for being 5 over.
Oh no. Oh no. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Watch out.
At 5 over, they would take me to jail.
Oh, I don't know. We're pretty laid back. Don't litter. We really like our natural beauty up here, so please try not to throw your junk out the window or clean up your campsite when you're done camping. Yeah, I don't know. We're not that different from the States, really, I don't think. But
yeah, I noticed some differences in that people were nicer. And also for here, as you get close to the border, especially if you're coming in from like Niagara Falls area, that's just on the U.S. side is just terrible. They're all, get your Canadian currency now. This is one of your last chance stops. But I found people to be very lenient in Canada.
There is a little bit of rivalry, I find, between Western Canadians and Eastern Canadians. There's a lot of pride for Western Canada. So that's like BC, Alberta, Saskatchewan, Manitoba. We're very, very proud of the way things are done in Western Canada. And then you have Eastern Canada, which mostly Western Canada is a very conservative politics. Until lately, we've had some Liberals and NDPs, but I don't want to get into politics. And then Eastern Canada.
I was going to say this is a non-political channel.
Yeah. No, I don't like politics really. But Eastern Canada is more liberal. So I think that's where we clash. I'm friends with tons of people in Eastern Canada, but generally there is the feeling that if you're in Eastern Canada, they're going to tell you that Eastern Canada is better. And if you come to Western Canada, we're going to say Western Canada is better to visit. So you will find that, I think, when you come up here.
That's not so different. If you live in the Southeast, we're going to tell you the Southeast is better. But everyone who's in the North or Southwest or West, they're all going to tell you different. It's what you like the best.
It's where you live, so you're proud of it, usually.
Yeah. So going back to you talking about your travel writing, is that only online? Have you written for publications? Say more about that.
I have done a few. I haven't done any printed publications, but I used to work for one summer. I was a writer for a magazine in England. Can't even remember what it was called now, but I did a few articles for them, music reviews and travel. And then we said Go Travel has an online publication, and so I wrote an article for them about the Louisiana swamps and exploring down there. But I haven't really pursued too much publications because I feel like I have a hard enough time filling my blog with a regular scheduled post. So I feel like I'm going to run out of ideas if I start writing all my stuff for other people.
Okay. A lot of people get their start online, but it sounds like you have experience in both. And I think that because I've written travel since 2000 and I forgot. 2009, I think. And yes, 2009. I'm sorry. It's like I've done it for so long, I have to stop and think. You probably have that too sometimes. But I think there's this thought, or there used to be this thought, that you weren't a real travel writer if you only wrote online, that you had to have offline work. And now it seems like it's kind of shifted to let's do it all online.
Yeah, I I don't know anybody who gets like magazine subscriptions anymore. So I
My
would like
husband may be the only one.
I haven't in years.
Yeah.
I would
We
like
have
to
the
write something
Smithsonian magazine around here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. Huffington Post would be something that I'd like to write something for, but that's kind of like a pipe dream.
No, it's not a pipe dream. I know someone who started out by having a blog, and so now he contributes occasionally to Huffington Post. But the thing is about dreams, they can happen.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of like winning the lottery. Now, okay, everybody's listening. I don't recommend that you go out and spend money on lottery tickets. But the thing is, somebody wins sometimes. And I think that's the same way with travel writing and bucket lists.
Yeah, you never know. I'm waiting. I'd like to get a brand sponsorship one day with my YouTube channel and get like a trip fully paid for. That's one of my big dreams, is to get an actual writer's or videographer's trip paid for. So,
well, there's a lot of places that offer press trips. And you can pitch it when you know, as you get traffic, you can pitch it to different chambers of commerce and so forth.
Yeah, I'm waiting to get monetized, because once I get monetized, I think my rankings will go up a little higher in YouTube search engines, and I should be getting more traffic and stuff. And then I'll feel a little more confident in putting myself out there a bit more.
Well, you've got the blog out there too, and I saw that you had like 750,000 page views, and that counts.
Yeah, I have almost 1,000 people on my email subscription list for my blog, so that's a pretty good number, I think. I think so too. Do you use MailChimp, or who do you use? It's just through Blogger. You just on the blog, you'll see sign up with email, and then I can go check. I think it's called FeedBurner. I can go check and see how many people are subscribed. Yeah, I don't do mail outs. I don't. Like, I used to do a little newsletter, but I feel like it's kind of spam, so I don't do that anymore.
I like sending postcards. I think people would just as soon get a postcard from someplace that's not their backyard as to get this whole big newsletter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a cute idea.
Yeah. But there are press trips. You mentioned Louisiana. You mentioned New Orleans. There are some towns down there that used to be very, very open to press trips for bloggers. So, yeah. I don't know if they're still open. This is going back several years ago. But they used to have this criteria that you had to meet, which you probably would, actually, from what I can remember of their requirements. And they would help you get, free meals together for you to write about, and free lodging. So,
and this is just through their chambers?
Chamber of Commerce.
Okay, I'm going to check that out. I love Louisiana.
Well, I mean, you can always write a proposal. There's nothing wrong with trying, right?
Mm-hmm. That's something I should learn, is how to write a proper proposal.
It's daunting at first, but it's not that different from, you've got to include some of the things that you've written. So you've got already a little bit of a resume, and you've got your traffic and any of your social media accounts. And from that, once you get those together and you know what area you want to go to, then you've got part of your proposal right there, written and ready to go. It's kind of like writing for grants. Have you ever had to write for a grant as a teacher?
I have, yeah.
Okay, not that different.
Okay.
Yeah, put all of your grant writing skills to work writing this proposal for your travel writing, and you may be surprised at what happens.
I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. The other thing too, you can approach attractions and ask if they will do like a buy one get one free, where you would go with your husband and have a night, and you would get the free meal, which I say free, but it's not really free, because you have to use your time to sort of pay for that meal.
Yeah, I've done that a couple times, where I got free admission to a place in exchange for an honest review, because you know, I'm not gonna, if it was horrible and I broke my leg there, I'm probably not gonna lie about it. But I'm a pretty positive person.
You can't, because somebody will find you out and that'll blow your credibility, and you don't want that.
Pretty positive, though. It takes a lot for me to really not have a good time. It takes a lot for me to be upset with something. So most likely you're going to get a happy review from me, because I'm just so happy to be out and about.
Be there. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and there's not just having fun, but you don't want to totally disparage somebody unless you really, really have a terrible time. You know, there's going to be usually something good about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I might slip in somewhere like the food was pretty greasy, but my kids loved it and we were still full by the end of the day. Like something like that. It'll be honest.
Yeah. And if the food is really greasy, the kids are always probably going to love it.
Oh, I'm probably going to love it.
There's just something about kids. Okay. Okay, now you have 2 children, and life is less of a challenge now than it was when they were younger, because they're 3 and 4.
Yeah.
What would you say to a parent who's thinking about traveling, but people are telling them no, they can't because they have young kids?
Well, I would say do it anyways. We took our daughter to Costa Rica when she was only 10 months old, and it was amazing. We had a great trip. We didn't take Parker. We were going to do it again when Parker was only about 10 months old, but Abby was just at that age where she was dabbling with temper tantrums, and we didn't want to be those people.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. But instead we did road trips, so that if she had a spaz, she was in the car with us and it didn't matter. So we still traveled. We just chose a different form of travel, but I would say do it.
Road trips are awesome. I love road trips.
But even the flight with her wasn't bad. Like, we packed tons of snacks. She was still drinking a bottle, so we had a bottle for takeoff and for touchdown so that her ears wouldn't be like pressurized. We had lots of games for her. Everybody on the plane played with her. The stewardess loved her. So it was a breeze. It was a breeze. We loved it.
So she sort of became the darling of the whole flight.
She was, yes.
That's nice.
She wouldn't have been the second time around, but
but you have that positive experience, and that positive experience is going to build on you getting the courage for the next experience. Mm-hmm. And the reason I'm asking about what would you say to parents who have small children is myself and my husband, when our kids were small, we heard, oh, you shouldn't take them to place A or B or C. You know, you need to be closer. And like, our kids were like probably 3 and 5 when we took them to New York City. And that was a pretty big pill for the folks here to swallow, because they were like, no, you can't take young kids there. We did.
Why not? People raised their children.
And they had a good time.
New York is not a child-free city.
Right. I think sometimes people are just so daunted by the idea of traveling, at least they are kind of in this general area where I am, that they just don't think that, yeah, kids live there. You know?
I mean, travel with kids is extra work. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You have to be very prepared, and you have to think ahead. You have to have extra of everything.
Right.
And you don't travel for you anymore. So if you want to go to a museum, you can. You can still go to the museum, but you're not going to stay there for 3 hours like you normally would if you were kid-free. You might stay there for 1 hour, 1.5 at the max, because you travel around your kids too. Or you're going to go and do like a kid activity, like a mini golf with ice cream or something, instead of going and just lounging at the beach all afternoon. You have to make sacrifices so that everybody in your travel party is happy. You can't just travel for you anymore, which some people might not enjoy. Like, you don't fly all the way to Europe just to go on water slides. You know what I mean? But that makes it easier.
You have to like intentionally seek out experiences that the kids are going to like, which is what you're saying. Yeah.
Some of it for just you, but it can't all be just for you. Right. And then you will have a horrible trip because your kids will be whining and sniveling the whole time. So
yeah. One of the things that they do in the U.S., I don't know if they do it in Canada. I hope so. But there is, what just happened with my sound? I don't know. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. It just sounds funny on my end. But here, one of the best things about museums and so forth is chances are if you join the museum locally and you become a member, zoos, aquariums, science centers, then that membership is good at other science centers and museums. So you don't feel bad if you go on a trip and you're only there for an hour and you have to leave.
One of those passes. We have it in Alberta. You can get a museum pass, and it's good for like 30 museums in Alberta or something.
Yeah.
So
those are really helpful, and it cuts the cost a lot because you buy it once and you're done. Except for once in a while, you might have somebody that you have to, pay a couple of bucks or something. But that's about it.
We also do coupon books here in Alberta. They're Students' Union ticket packs, they're called. And if you can get your hands on one of those when you come up to Alberta, you can get so many good deals, like going to West Edmonton Mall with the big World Water Park. There you go.
We have them here too.
Yeah. So, I mean, you don't have to be an Alberta resident to get them. If you can just find a way to, like on Facebook, find a way to grab one as you're driving through Calgary or wherever, boy, you can save a ton of money with those.
Okay. I love coupons when I travel.
Me too.
Yeah. Now, something else here that's nice in the U.S. is restaurant coupons that are nationally. You can use them at any restaurant. So I will try to stock up before we go, clipping them out of the newspaper and stuff. Do you have pretty good luck with that?
I don't usually see a lot of restaurant coupons in our newspapers. I don't think Canada is quite as coupon-y as the States. Like, we don't do extreme couponing, and our coupons work differently. Like, you can't stack coupons like you can in the States. Like, we have different rules with them, so people aren't quite as crazy about coupons here. But I know the Students' Union ticket packs are very popular. But I don't see, like, even for grocery stores, not very many coupons.
Yeah. Because we'll be coming through again. If all goes planned, we're going to be going through again, next summer. There is one thing that really shocked me about Canada, and that's forest fires.
Oh, they were horrible this year.
Yeah.
Just horrible.
Yeah, we went through Saskatchewan a couple of years ago, and I was shocked. We were at a campground, and we started packing up because it was time to go anyway. But from the time we woke up to a couple of hours later, when we were fully packed, suddenly you couldn't see the other end of the campground or the smoke. Yeah.
It was like that in Alberta because of the BC forest fires. Like, I don't even know how many different fires were going this summer in BC, but there's a few videos that you can see on my channel where I'm trying to like pan the horizon and it looks brown. Everything looks brown, and it was from the smoke. We had to stay inside for 3 days solid one week because the smoke advisory was so bad.
Yeah. Well, my heart goes out to you guys for dealing with forest fires, because I live next to a rainforest. So we don't have one that I can remember in like my whole life. Yeah. That's
There's
something I
probably
think
one every summer
that people need to plan for when they go to Canada. Yeah.
I mean, you can find out about it in advance, but if you happen to be here when it starts, then that's not fun.
Yeah.
BC is usually the place that has them the most, just because they're so much more forested than the other provinces.
Yeah, we ran into Kamloops in BC last year. That was an interesting experience. Yeah. So I have got some questions. Let me see if I can find what I did with my list here. Okay. Really quick questions. These are the quote important questions, if you would.
I'm ready.
Okay. Here we go. Hershey's dark chocolate or light chocolate?
Light chocolate.
Light chocolate. Okay. Flight or drive?
Right now, probably drive.
Well, it really sounds
flight.
like the correct answer is yes to either.
Yes, both, please.
Okay. And the last one. Fruit Loops or Cheerios?
Okay. Oh, Fruit Loops.
Fruit Loops. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's our lightning round questions. What else would you want to say to people who are listening before you go?
I would say my favorite quote, which I put, if I had t-shirts, I'd put it on the back of my t-shirt. It is that a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. So get out and push your comfort zone and explore and experience life, and don't let your obstacles get in your way.
That is fabulous. Absolutely. I love that slogan.
I love it. It's the best quote ever.
Yeah. So you're going to have to put it on Zazzle or someplace so folks can buy your shirt.
Yeah, I've been looking. It's so expensive here in Canada because it's like $15 or $20 to get your shirt made, and then shipping and handling, and then customs to get it into the States.
Right?
I don't know.
Again, I've got a video about Zazzle, Zazzle, and like you upload your design and they do all that. You don't make too much, but you're not handling products, storing it, shipping it, anything like that.
I wouldn't even want to be making money. It's just fun to have people wearing your t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to watch that. I've never heard of Zazzle before.
Yeah. I've been really pleased with your products. I was on a couple of other different stores and didn't like the quality of the products as much, and I've been really impressed with Zazzle.
Okay,
nice.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on Overcoming the Obstacles today. Everybody that's watching and those of you who will be listening later on, take it to heart. I mean, she's talking to you about how to overcome travel challenges. So if there's a trip you've been wanting to take, learn from both of us. Get out there and find a way to do it. It can be done 99.9% of the time.
Yeah.
But go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. I just want to say thank you for having me on. It was really fun to talk to you and a great way to spend the morning.
Yeah. Well, I was about to thank you too. And I've had fun, and maybe we could do this again or whatever, but I've really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for being part of this channel.
No problem. Anytime. Just let me know.
Will do. And thank you all for watching. And don't forget to go out, be bodacious, be bold, and overcome those obstacles, because your life is waiting for you. So don't let anything hold you back. And we will see you. Thanks again. And we'll see you out, about, and online. So, bye. And thanks again, Marty.
No problem.